Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Card Talk, a podcast where we spend just a little bit of time talking about cards from Lord of the Rings card game. I'm your host, Dave Walsh.
And I'm Grant Thompson, just along for the ride.
And Ted Bannock is not along for the ride. He's sitting this bank of episodes out. So we're continuing our core set push here to try to get through all the core set cards. But before we get into today's card, let's talk a little bit about how you guys can stay connected with Card Talk. Of course, we have a YouTube channel and we have our podcast. You're listening to us on one of those two platforms. But we also have a blog, cardtalk2018.com. You can go over to the blog, and Matt, or Cat Attack 22, he keeps everything up to date over there and reviews all the cards that we review on the pod over on the blog. And then we have Micah does Second Breakfast, so every other Saturday or every other Sunday he uploads an episode. I think he's still trying to do it live, but I think he ran into some technical glitch up in Canada there, and so he tries to upload a playthrough every Sunday on our YouTube channel, or every other Sunday, I guess, with some deck building restrictions, and plays a certain scenario. He has fun doing that, so thanks to Micah for his contributions there. We do have an email address, cardtalk2018@gmail.com, and if you are interested in supporting Card Talk, helping keep the lights on and the pod clacking over there, then please join us at patreon.com/cardtalk2018. Enough of the credits, though. Grant, what card are we going to be talking about today?
Well, as you said, we're going back to the core set, and today we're picking up a very useful 2-cost leadership attachment, which is an artifact and item. The Celebrian Stone, which is attached to a hero. It is restricted. Attached hero gains 2 willpower. If attached hero is Aragorn, he also gains the Spirit Resource icon.
I mean, this is a pretty good card in the core set, I think. Leadership seems to have all in the core set. At least has all the the fun little toys going on. Steward of Gondor, and all that stuff. But not Sword that was broken. I'm sorry, that was that's a fun toy in the leadership, but it's not in the core set.
Yeah.
Sneak Attack was what I was thinking of. Anyways, I don't know how I confused those two. But before we get into the card, Grant, maybe you should tell everybody, so Grant's our resident lore expert, so maybe you should tell everybody who Celebrian was and why that would impact Aragorn. Like why the Celebrian Stone gives Aragorn a spirit resource.
Well, going back to the Second Age, Celebrian was born Second Age 300, and she's the daughter of Galadriel and Celeborn. Then she spent some time with Celeborn, Galadriel, and Elrond in Rivendell, where they were later wed. She is the mother of, obviously, Elladan, Elrihia, and Arwen. And it's actually the necklace that Arwen gives Aragorn is the Celebrian Stone. Now, we don't see Celebrian in the Lord of the Rings film. She's not depicted because by that point she'd already sailed back to Valinor, by that point after being tortured by orcs on the Redhorn Pass. Eladan and Elrohir actually went out to rescue her, but she never actually recovered from the torture, and that's what drove her out of Middle Earth. And Eladan and Elrohir basically got mad and cannot forgive the orcs for the treatment their mother received. And so they continued striking back at the orcs whenever they got the chance.
Hello, Grant.
Hello.
I was trying to wait until you finished your little thing about Celebrian, who Celebrian was.
Oh, is he talking about Celebrian?
Yeah.
I interrupted Celebrian.
No, I was just waiting. You were like, "Can I talk? Can I talk?" I was like, "I'm just waiting here." That's okay.
Bye, girls.
Grant says, "Bye, girls."
Bye, Grant.
Well, everybody, that was my wife. She was so interested in Celebrian that she wanted to talk about it with us off camera. So, anyways, sorry that the end of the story that Grant was telling got a little bit cut off there, but you know, basically, it's Arwen's mom.
Yeah, Aragorn's mother-in-law.
Right. Right. I mean, there's, all the details that Grant had said and that Melissa, my wife, was completely in tune to. But anyways, enough about the story behind the card. Let's talk about this card. And I'll start. And I don't have a ton to say about it, but this card is good. In the core set, this card is really good. Two willpower for 2 cost in leadership, where leadership has typically a ton of resources because it's got the Steward of Gondor in it, and then that makes it really good. And right from the beginning, this is you get the spirit icon to Aragorn, and I appreciate this about this game. I came to love Lord of the Rings because I appreciated card games like Magic the Gathering, and I admittedly I'm not like deep into the Magic the Gathering thing, but Magic the Gathering has like cards that are, 2 sphere they have 2 different 2 different types of mana that you have to use to bring it out, but Lord of the Rings has very few cards that have 2 different types of things. So this grants Aragorn a resource icon from the Spirit Sphere, and so you can play Aragorn and Éowyn and Theodred, and you put the Celebrian stone on, and then you can use him as either a spirit hero or a leadership hero. And in the core set, there was only one version of Aragorn, since there's an Aragorn in all 4 spheres. So, which is also pretty cool because, you can play Lord Aragorn and give him the spirit icon, or play Tactics Aragorn and give him the spirit icon. And so and this card is good, even if it were just the 2 for 2. And this is my shortcoming as a deck builder, is that I always want to put this on Aragorn. I don't include this in a deck that doesn't have Aragorn in it, because I want to use that other line of its passive ability. I always want to give Aragorn the spirit resource icon. So, but 2 for 2 is a great cost if you think about other core set cards or other, first cycle cards like Dunedain Quest that's 2 costs for 1 willpower, or Favor of the Lady in the core set, which is 2 costs for 1 willpower. The only downside to this is that, and this is, I see new players post pictures in the Facebook group, and they end up having 2 or 3 of these in play. This is unique, so you can only bring 1 of these out in play, and that's for the whole table. So if you're playing 4-player, only 1 person can have this on the table at a time. So I don't know, I think that this is it's been consistently good through the whole life of the game. Grant, what do you think?
Well, I agree with you. It's been consistently good throughout the whole game. I generally include this deck without Aragorn. My three hunters decks, if I'm running with Eowyn or a heavy quester, generally has this put in just for that extra +2 willpower. If I need a bit of extra questing push, and I know my deck suffers on questing and I've got access to leadership, I'll probably put this in. Do I always put it on Aragorn? No. Sometimes I'll give it to another player if I'm running Aragorn, and I'll give this to another player because they can make better use of it. That passive effect where he gains a spirit icon could be useful, but generally I'm not building a deck focused on that. I'm generally focused on what my deck needs or what another deck needs to be complete.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I guess it's solo versus multiplayer mentality.
yeah. I mean, did you talk about 3 hunters, that this goes in a 3 hunters
Yep.
deck? Yeah, I mean, and that's, and that it's restricted, but this also goes into other contract decks. I mean, if you're playing the Council of the Wise and you need resource smoothing, but if you're looking for willpower boosts because of Council of the Wise, you can only put 1 copy of each card in the deck. Like this is an option through the whole thing for that.
The Burglar's Turn.
Well, yeah, the Burglar's Turn, but I can't stand the Burglar's Turn contract because you never see all 14 of those attachments. So, I mean, it's fun, but I just don't like it. I like being able to at least have a chance to see, my attachments.
Oh, I agree, but what I'm saying is it could be amongst the Burglar's Turn contract.
It could.
In all honesty, the Grey Wanderer contract could be quite useful in.
It's very useful in the Grey Wanderer contract because typically you're really looking for ways to
maximize
quest.
potential.
You need to be able to quest. So, and it would be really awesome in an Aragorn, Grey Wanderer contract. But because you would be able to pay for 2 different spheres of cards. One of the limitations on the Grey Wanderer contract is you can't bring out uniques of off-sphere cards. You can play 1 off-sphere card as long as it's not unique. So if you play Leadership Aragorn, you can bring this guy out or this card out, and then you have the Spirit Resource icon. You can do all sorts of stuff. So I don't know. This is a good card in the core set.
Yeah, I'd say it's a good card even outside the core set.
Yes.
And I think the artwork is amazing on this.
I like this artwork, but it's just not as crisp and clean as I would want it to be. And I mean, I know that this is probably Galadriel's hand holding this out there. Maybe Arwen's hand, I don't know. But to me, it looks a little, because of the sleeve that comes down, it looks like it's just a floating hand. It's just, I like it. I don't love it. I don't want some more of it. It's good. I don't know. Core set art just really has me. Let me say this, and I've said this before, is that, that core set art is great art, but you come to expect a next level artwork in this game. That's one of the reasons why people love it, is because the artwork is just so good. And then, so when you have this kind of art, which is good, it looks good, it's, it just, I don't know. If it fits. I don't know what it is that I don't like about it, but it's not that I hate it. Let me say that. I like it.
I think the reason I like it so much is because it's not as crisp as, say, some of the other artwork. It actually looks like it's old rather than it looking brand spanking new.
One of the things I think that's happened too, and I agree with what you just said, is that like I become kind of art blind, or like I've seen this card so many times that I'm just like, like maybe I'm just like atrophied to the card, or like I just it's just, I don't know. It is what it is, right?
So
should
do you
we
know
ring
what,
this guy?
Well, I was just about to say, do you know what Celebrian means?
Daughter of Celeborn.
No.
Okay.
It goes for Caleb, which means silver, and Ryan is queen, silver queen.
Oh, okay.
And Sildarin.
Okay. There you go. See, Melissa should have been here. She would have loved to have talked about this. She may have even known that. No, she wouldn't. Well, should we ring this card?
Sure, let's ring the Silver Queen.
Okay. So, for anybody who doesn't know, or maybe this is your first time at Card Talk, we have a highly scientific yet arbitrary system where we ring a card on a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is the one card to rule them all, or one of the best cards in the game, and 10 is the card that we throw back into the fiery chasm from whence it came, or not a very good card in the game. So, Grant, I think you went first last time, so maybe I can talk about the Celebrian stone. What is it? The silver queen?
The Silver Queen stone.
Yeah. I think that this card has been consistently good. I don't see a lot of peaks and valleys in its usage, and I think that it's just been really good. I see it played often, throughout the life of the game. Yeah, I mean, it's because the card pool has broadened and it's gotten deeper. I don't see it played as often, but I don't see it played as often just because there's some other options that people can bring out, and the Celebrian stone is just not, it's not in Sphere or something like that. Like it's not that people are like, oh, the Celebrian stone stinks now. It's just like, it's just, there's other options, and there may not even be other better options too. There just may be better, I don't know. But the point is that I think the Celebrian stone over the life of the game has kind of maintained its allure to people. So normally I think of a card and I'm like, how inspired am I to play a card? And that's usually my ring rating. But, I think that because this card is just good over so long of a time, I think that, I would give it a 3 rings. I think it's just some card that you have to consider anytime you're playing leadership and you want a willpower boost. What about you, Grant?
I'd agree with that. And I too was going to give it a 3 rings for pretty much everything you said. It's consistent. There's been no detriment over the course of the game for using Celebrian stone. When you look at the other options in leadership for willpower boost, you've got like the Dunedain quest, which is 2 for 1. And yes, that's ununique, but why pay 2 for 1 when you can get 2 for 2 with the Celebrian stone? So I'm giving it a 3 rings as well.
Okay, well, there you have it. We have a couple of 3 ring ratings. So hopefully Matt over at the blog sees the same thing that we do, Grant.
Well, if he doesn't, he needs to get educated.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, everybody. We'll talk to you later, and have a great day.
Do you love the content? Here's what you can do to stay connected. Become a patron. The money collected through Patreon goes into keeping the lights on here at the podcast. We love our patrons, and you can join at many different levels. visit patreon.com/cardtalk2018. You can subscribe to us whether you're watching our YouTube channel or you're listening to us in your favorite podcatcher. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications of all our new episodes. Didn't know we were an audio podcast? Find us by searching Card Talk to get access to our 120 plus regular episodes. Didn't know we were a video channel? Find us by searching Card Talk LOTR LCG on YouTube. And there you can find not only our regular episodes, but you can find our bonus playthroughs and other content related to the game. Want to get a hold of Ted, Grant, or myself? Feel free to email the podcast at cardtalk2018@gmail.com.